Hey, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Excited for this virtual parent coffee. We'll just give it another minute as folks are hopping on. Hi, Max. Hi, Chrissy. Nice to meet you. All right, I'm excited to jump in. Hey, everyone, welcome to this December virtual coffee. It is a fun and for some crazy time of year, so thanks to those of you who were able to make time to join us. Today's agenda is we're going to talk for a little bit about adult learning theory. I'm going to give an overview, and then we're going to go into breakout rooms and discuss this in a way that hopefully it becomes useful for you as parents and caregivers for your own learning and to model the kind of independent learning we hope our learners will achieve. After that, that'll be about the first half hour. I'm going to pop over with the Forest School Online folks into a room, while Max will stay with the Forest School in-person folks and give them an update. And we'll switch. After the last 15 minutes, Max will be there with Forest School Online, and then I will come back with Forest School in person. So that's where we're headed. So let's jump in. I want to invite you now to take a minute and reflect. What is the most powerful learning experience that you have had as an adult? Can you write that in a one-sentence answer and drop it in the chat? Thank you, Avni. Great. And for those of you who are thinking about this, I want to invite you to specifically think of some kind of experience that you went through where you learned a lot from it, whether it was formal, informal, some experience that taught you a lot. Thank you, Sarah. So like, for example, Mandisa and Sarah, you don't have to share it in the chat, but there will be a moment where you can think potentially to share. So like, when times are hard, Mandisa, like what was a time that was hard and what would be the, that brought that learning? For Sarah, what's a particular failure, Charles, which community in particular, think through those. Now, I'll share for me, one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful learning experiences I had as an adult was in the process of launching and designing this school in South Atlanta called the Chattahoochee Hills Charter School, which now serves about 600 kids in South Fulton. And I had never designed a school before, and so it was kind of a trial by fire. This was back in 2008, and I was in the country of Costa Rica when I was designing this school. In fact, I Googled this picture and I found it at the colegio where I did the writing of the design of this school. It's about a 200-page long document. And I sat literally where this girl is sitting right here. And on this TV, I watched the 2008 World Cup in the background while I was writing. But it was an incredible learning experience for me that resulted in a school where my children went. That pictured in the top right is my daughter, River. But for me, that was just an incredible learning experience. I had never done anything like that before. I appreciate learning by doing, and I just kind of jumped in. I learned from a lot of other folks, some world-class examples that I saw, and just the process. But what I want to share with you this today is 5 of the most important principles from adult learning theory so that we can grow and learn as adults. And the first is this, that adult learning accelerates when adults have a sense of control. And here's a quote from Dr. Tina Grotzer from Harvard. Adult learners benefit from what are called self-authoring learning experiences, which means that learning opportunities are flexible and give learners a sense of control by allowing them to determine their learning needs, make plans, set goals, and engage in self-evaluation. You know, when I think about my own experience starting that school, I had quite a bit of control. I chose the environment where I was doing the learning. I got to choose the pace at which I was going. I even had control over some aspects of the design, so I did have a sense of control over this experience. A second key principle about adult learning is that adults really appreciate the chance to respect the risks involved in change or in something new. If adults are learning something entirely new, respect for the risks involved may be appreciated. And those of us who, we've lived life long enough, we know that change can be hard, and we can resist it. But when we name the risks involved in this new thing, that tends to help our brains and our minds learn even better. A third principle of adult learning is that adult learning accelerates when there's actually real world application. You know, for me, the real world application was obviously the starting of an actual school. By the way, for me, the risks, appreciating the risks involved were realizing that if I didn't get the school started, I had to consider authorizing figures and whether or not they would actually authorize the school. The impact of my work in writing would have impact on whether or not we would get funding. And then how I kind of showed up with the team would have an impact on how the team perceived me and whether or not they would view me as collaborative. But real world application, as Dr. Grotzer describes it, is adults often have specific purposes and goals in mind, which involve applying the knowledge gained, honoring those purposes, and helping them to apply what is learned to contexts that they care about. That's an important aspect of instructional design for adults. So if what you're learning is something that you can actually use, then the chances of you learning that thing are going to be much higher. Another principle is that adult learning accelerates when what they're learning honors previous knowledge and experiences. So for me, when I think about my my most powerful adult learning experience, it honored my previous knowledge. I had designed learning environments in the past for young people and for adults, just in a different setting, not in a school setting, but in a nonprofit setting. I had the chance to work hands-on with learners, and so I could apply that knowledge. I had studied educational research, and so I was able to bring that to the table, and I had worked with teams before. And so a lot of what I was doing honored what I had done before. Dr. Grotzer says adults often bring a rich sense of skepticism to their learning and evaluate new ideas through the wealth of their experience and a variety of perspectives. And so because we as adults are skeptical, naturally, the fact that we can honor our previous experience and knowledge actually helps us. And then the last key principle I want to share is that adult learning accelerates when the learning experience appreciates complexity. Adults who have continued to self-actualize throughout adulthood become increasingly able to reason in nuanced, complex ways. And so these abilities can lead to skepticism for simple solutions. And so for me, what was really helpful about my learning experience when I compare it to this adult learning science principle is that I had a template for how to design a school that was robust and very detailed and nuanced. And so I realized over time that this just wasn't going to be a simple, hey, here's the vision. It's like, no, I actually had to think through every single part of this whole experience. And so for me, I learned a lot through that. So in summary, adult learning accelerates when these factors are true: a sense of control, respect for the risks, real world application, honoring previous knowledge and experiences, and appreciating the complexity. What I'd love to do before we break out into groups, any questions, clarifying questions about any of these principles? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop right now in the chat a list of discussion questions. You can click on that for just a minute. I'll review them. What I'm going to do is invite each one of you in your breakout room to share what is for you one of the most powerful learning adult experiences you've ever had. And then I basically want to invite you to audit that learning experience with these 5 key adult learning principles. Did you have a sense of control? Were the risks appreciated? Did it honor your previous knowledge and experience? Was there complexity? Was there real world application? You'll have a chance to share in your group. And so if you click on that discussion question link, you'll be able to see it. Any questions before I send you into breakout rooms? Okay, I'm going to send you in there for about 15 minutes or so, and you'll get announcements from me. Introduce yourself and enjoy discussing the questions. I'll see you in a bit. All right, welcome back, everyone. I know that's not enough time to go in depth about these learning experiences. And I know Max right now is going to start putting For School Online families and me into preparing to put us into a breakout room. But before we go in there, would love to just open it up to the group. First of all, any questions, about these principles? Secondly, what themes came up in your group discussion, if any? And thirdly, and maybe most importantly, can you see a way that these principles can be useful to you? And if so, how? Would love to just open it up.
I have a question. Could you clarify the number 2 factor about risk?
It's actually number 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tyler, the question was to go and clarify the risks element that you shared about earlier.
The respect for risk for number 2 in the 5 factors?
3.
Well, question 3, but
He put in the chat that his internet is not working right now.
I would chime in, but I was a part of that group and we were all wondering the same thing. So I don't know if there's another group that could maybe add on. We were having trouble understanding what that question was really getting at, or if anybody had an interpretation or some thoughts on the question around risk, we'd love to hear it.
For me, it was just, treating it with the seriousness or the weight of the change, that like most of ours seem to be around something large and new, like, whole new life pickups or an entire new position. And for me, it was like that kind of respect for how important and how big and how, especially it seemed to the individual, right? So, for me, the thing that I went and did was a very large thing for me, and it might not be the same, for everybody, but just a healthy respect for the risks involved, because then you take it more serious, and then you gain more understanding from it. That's how I took it.
Yeah, Tyler's also adding in the chat.
Yeah.
Anytime we learn something new, we usually have to unlearn, which can be risky. So the unlearning part, I didn't think about that piece, or the risk that can be involved with the unlearning too. What we give up, the beliefs or ways of operating that we may have to change.
That's
Our
good.
story was about a very risky investment that we made, and we went into it very naively thinking it was going to be black and white and it was going to be easy, and there was a lot of money on the line, and it was really scary, and we learned a lot, and the risk was high. A lot of lessons were learned, a lot of things were unlearned, which was that we thought it was going to be easy, and we learned very quickly it was not. But yeah, it was very high risk and still is, but it's on the upswing now. But we learned a lot.
Tyler, is your internet working now?
Yep, it is now. Thanks for your patience with me, y'all. I literally only heard Sarah's comment, and I saw Charles your question here in the chat. Any others? Any other thoughts or questions or comments? Do you see a way in which? Oh, Lucas, were you going to say something?
No, I had shared. Yeah, but I guess the thing that I saw common is just the new part, doing something completely new, which is obviously learning.
Well, and as we think about how to model, being independent learners for our own children, and I just dropped these in the chat again, but when you are tackling a new project to learn, hopefully these principles can help you if you ask and self-reflect, hey, what of this experience do I have control of and can I control? What are the risks involved? How can I make, if I don't see a way right now to make this useful in the world, how can I? How can I figure out how to use this so that it has real world application? And this is, as y'all know, for young learners who are just on Khan Academy all day, this is a big challenge for learners to connect it to the real world. And so when they see us doing it as well, it's a great model. How can I bring my prior experience into this new experience? How can I appreciate all the complexity there? Is something to think about. So thank you all for kind of diving in there with us for adult learning, and hopefully that's helpful to you. And excited, Max, you want to send me and For School online families, and then For School in-person families. I'm excited for y'all to hear an update from Max. Obviously a benefit of For School online, For School families is to be able to sometimes join For School online, so you guys can pose some questions to him, and I'll see you all in a minute.
All right, cool. So yeah.
Oh, do I need to join it?
Yeah, it didn't let me assign you, so I think you just have to join. Sweet. So I'm thrilled to be here with the Forest School. because I spend my days doing the Forest School online. So yeah, at first I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Max. I'm the head of school at the Forest School Online. We started this adventure in March. I received my master's in school leadership from Harvard. I was actually there the same time that Tyler was. And over this past year, I was, my master's, it's in school leadership, but the concentration is school development with a focus on innovative models. So last year when I was doing my work for my leadership certificate, I went to the Forest School as one of the schools that I studied. And in conversations with Tyler, this vision for an online school that would be a sibling school of the Forest School just kind of generated. And we put our heads together and realized that this could really happen. And so I applied, got the position, and it has been, let's see, now it's December. It has been 9 months of the ride of my life, going from a nascent idea to opening a school and continuing to develop it now. We started as a one-person show. I literally, in August, I was running elementary, middle, and high school all at the same time, which was nuts and completely inadvisable. But then we have slowly been hiring staff and getting a team. And now we have a guide for all 3 studios. One of our guides is actually here with us. And Chrissy, I'd love for you to just introduce yourself, maybe share a little background. But yeah, I want to pass it to you to introduce yourself as well.
Hello, my name is Chrissy, and as Max just said, I just recently, as of like 2 weeks ago, officially joined the Forest School Online, and I am working as the middle school or middle studio guide. So right now I'm just kind of getting acquainted with everything and getting to know our learners. And my background has been kind of all over education. I've worked in elementary, middle school, high school. I've taught all different subjects, but my biggest passion is inquiry-based learning and project-based learning. And so I'm really excited to be at the Forest School Online, where we basically do that all the time and push our learners to think in new and creative ways. And I'm just really excited to be here and really thankful to be part of this school family.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why we decided to open the online school is the power of flexibility that it opens up for you, for Forest School families. As you know, the Forest School is a brick and mortar. So you have to be in town, you have to be there in order to attend. And we know that so much learning happens hands-on, happens in the field and in different environments. So we also know that families may want to travel. They may have opportunities that they would not be able to take because of school. And so by creating an online school that is a sibling school, it provides you all the flexibility to keep your children enrolled and to continue their curriculum for a session at a time or for multiple sessions at a time. So you all have that transferability if you go on a vacation, if you want to take an expedition, it's on a per session basis. So we have some families that are with us for just a session and then they go back to in person based on what their schedule is. We have a family that's going to be joining us for the second half of the school year because they'll be in the US Virgin Islands. So we open that up and we use the exact same model as the Forest School. I mean, we truly are, we're sibling schools. We work together, we plan together, we do the same program. So your learners can continue their badge plans. They'll earn quests, storytelling, civilization. They could do an apprenticeship. all the stuff that you're doing in person, we offer online to give you that flexibility if you ever do find that you'll be traveling or that you won't be at Fayetteville for a number of weeks. So I was here to share a little bit about that new option that is available. There's no increase in tuition or anything. It is direct transferability. So it's available to you now. And we have families who have already been utilizing it. With coronavirus continuing to be, it hasn't gone away, unfortunately. And that is a real risk. And so that is another consideration, is there are some families who just find staying at home and quarantining is the best thing for them. So in situations like that, we are also an option that you have. I just was here to introduce myself, to introduce our team, and share with you that this online school exists. We do the same curriculum. And if you ever find that you'd like for your children to switch, you're welcome to. We just have to plan it out at least one session in advance. So you all could, transfer over as early as January, and that's going to continue to be the vision for the entire time that you're a part of our schools. So I shared that. If you have questions about the school or how we do things online, I'm happy to clarify or go into any discussion about the differences between the school. I don't know how much time we have here together before Tyler switches us, but yeah, we could use this time for a Q&A or just to hang out for a few minutes while Tyler's with my families. So yeah, if anybody has questions, feel free to come off mute, and I'm happy to share anything you'd like to know about the Forest School Online.
I'm just saying, I think it's cool.
Oh,
I travel a lot. So I like, it's just neat to have the opportunity to keep everybody connected and yeah, moving together, same philosophy, and then regrouping when you get back. So I think it gives the kids a little bit of a grounding or something that's consistent, or some common connection, even if it's not the same kids you see. It's, you're still at school. So that's cool.
Yeah. And they don't fall behind on their badge plans either.
Exactly. Yeah.
I forgot to mention this. We are also global. One of the powers of being online is we literally have families all over the world. We have a family in Uganda. We have a family in Kenya, and then we have California, Oregon, Montana, Texas, Illinois, Florida, South Carolina, Virginia, and of course, Georgia. So they also benefit from learning with folks in a whole bunch of different communities all across the world.
It's good.
I tried to get Azaria to be interested, but she's in 12th grade and she was like, no, I'm going to school in person. I had that pandemic experience with online. I was like, what about just for a session? She's not hearing that because she just wants to be in person. That's all. I like it as an option though. But I think, like I said, having spent the time in pandemic online, and even when the Forest School was in person, I kept her home. So she wasn't hearing it. She wasn't hearing that. She was like, I need to go to school.
Yeah.
And it's
and she's a
year.
senior.
Yeah. So she was not trying to hear. She was not interested at all. But I'm gonna try again. Maybe we can get her for one session.
No,
I'm
no.
signing off, family. I'll catch you guys.
All right. Bye. Yeah.
What's Azaria's plan for after graduation?
College of some sort, I think. We'll see how that works out. I mean, we're applying, or she's applying, and I'm nagging, whatever. so yeah. So that's where we are in the application and search process now. So
That's exciting.
yeah. And I mean, she does take advantage of the flexibility of forest school. Like, she decides sometimes to stay home. So I think she is kind of getting a little bit of that flexibility without having to do the session. I mean, she's pretty good about managing her workload. So she knows days when she needs to be in person and days she can maybe just stay home and work. So she's been able to do that too.
Yeah. I taught seniors before I was the head of school, and I loved the conversations about what's next, like dreaming out where you want to go. Since she's thinking college, doing the college search, it's a fun time in life.
Yeah, and I think before the forest school, she didn't consider any other options outside of college. I don't think I was thinking about anything else outside of college. So, I mean, I'm glad she had that opportunity to start thinking about other things she could do that wasn't direct from high school to college. I mean, even her middle school, like, they put your college graduation year. That was your class of 2026. I know this. That's her college graduation year. So they were pushing college so hard from when she was in middle school that I don't think without the forest school, she'd have had a chance to even stop and think, is this what I really want to do? Or is this just the path that was predetermined for me? So I do appreciate that. I mean, she's still choosing college, different colleges than what she was thinking that she wanted to do, but she still had a chance to think. So I think that's a great part of the forest school too.
Yeah. And part of that, for her to choose college rather than for it to be just this passive, this is what I'm supposed to do, but instead she's saying, I've looked at my options and college is the choice for me. There's a lot of power in that.
Yeah. Because I mean, honestly, I wasn't thinking about anything else either. It feels like that was my path that I had when I was in high school too. Like, just assume you're going to college after high school. That's what you do. But yeah, I mean, I remember even I think it was like interview with Tyler, and he said, rank these choices of things you could do after college. I mean, that was eye-opening for me too. It's like, wait, you can think about just going into the workforce. You can think about things, differently and consider what you actually want to do. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Do you know if she's thinking in-state, out of state? Has she started to weigh those different options?
We're looking where the money is. How about that? At least that's my number one criteria. Who's got the money? I mean, she did apply early decision for Emory and then early action, I think, for Colorado. So we're open. We're open to wherever we can get money, wherever we can go. Yeah, because she did decide she doesn't want to take loans if she doesn't have to. So she's trying to go to schools that cover your tuition, or where she can go for free.
Is she looking into any HBCUs?
No, not really. That was one of the switches that happened. Like, she, for many years, said, I'm going to Spelman. I'm going to Spelman. That's the school I want to go to. I'm not sure exactly what happened in her thought process that changed, or even I think in her freshman year, she was sure she was going to HBCU, but I don't think that's where she's looking right now. So, yeah. Like I said, I don't know exactly how we got here, but things switched. I mean, I like it because that means she's actually thought about it and she's making decisions, as opposed to somebody said you should do this. Somebody said you should do that. Yeah, because my sister went to Spelman, and she had these kids in t-shirts and all that too. So I was like, okay. And Azaria picked up. She's like, I'm going to Spelman.
Yeah, they rep hard.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it'll be good. I'm sure she'll do well. Yeah. So how many students do you have at the online school now?
We're up to 31.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Do you have anybody graduating this year or not?
Not yet. Our oldest is an 11th grader, so he's got one more year.
Yeah. It'll be good. Yeah. I know the school, the first school they had. I mean, I was surprised that somebody was willing to transfer as a senior for the first year of the school. I was like, wow, that's an amazing, risk and opportunity to think about, to switch your whole school in your last year of high school to go to a new school that's different and all that. And I was like, that's good. Yeah. The Hadley's doing well. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much longer. I didn't catch how long Tyler was doing the breakout rooms, but yeah, Chrissy and I are just going to be hanging out here until they're done.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just be chilling in this room.
Yeah. Because I think he said we were going to switch. I thought he said 15 minutes with you and then 15 minutes back with him, but I know he had his technical problems, so maybe he got his time is off a little bit now. I don't know.
I'll text him, see if he responds.
Yeah. Oh. There's Tyler. Hello.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
Are we
Mandisa,
switching?
yeah, y'all should
Every switch-
see you.
All right. So am I
Mandisa.
supposed?
Stay with me, Mandisa. We'll catch up.
Okay. All right. How you doing? I owe you a text
Good.
or something anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the latest?
It's just, I don't know. Feels like I'm just surviving right now. Truthfully, that's where I feel like right now. Like just hanging in there, changing. I don't know. Yeah.
What do you change?
Well,